keep it cute. 난이도 keep it cute. 가게는 흐려 삐걱여.
Oh hey, you're probably wondering where the hell I am right now, aren't you? Well, I have you know that I've taken the liberty of going all the way out here to San Cugat del Valle, Spain to get a feel of how things were for today's topic before becoming a big music artist. Oh hey look, it's a Spanish citizen. Glad I brought some notes to help me with directions. Let me just try something here. Hola gringo, estoy entregando 10 kilogramos de cocaína a través de la frontera española y nunca me atraparán. Well, looks like that didn't work. Well, before I go to prison for 20 to life, today's video is going to be about the upcoming Spanish singer Rosalia and her latest album Motomami, being a mix of Latin pop, rage aesthetic, and catchy tunes to make for quite an interesting turn of an album. Alright, so when listening to this album and then taking a look back at her previous project El Malquerer, there's definitely a difference between her more subtle, operatic style singing that she was doing initially, but now going into this more hip, head bopping, up and out of your seat style that while usually wouldn't work out for most artists when taking a turn that strong, she executes it pretty well, though you can hear hints of her previous album still in these tracks such as Hentai and G3 and 15. But for the most part, this album definitely seems like a more fun take and revamp of what would be Rosalia's style, and it mostly works out so well, with some of my favorite tracks being Diablo, Saoko, and Cute, with the latter seeming like the most standoutish track on this album. And then with it only being 42 minutes and 16 tracks, makes this such an easily digestible project, with it not seeming bloated and honestly keeping me entertained throughout the majority of this album. I guess my only issues would have to be the assortment of tracks seeming to bounce around this high energy wacky style to the slower singing heavy more emotional tracks that can definitely flip the mood for me. And I also do wish your track Motomami was longer, seeming like it had a lot of potential to be more than a solid minute of what we got. And I also didn't like the track Chicken Teriyaki, seeming like some forced radio hit that's going to be popping up all over social media and I feel won't get out of my head anytime soon. And lastly, I didn't get the little interlude that we got with the track ABCDFG, which even when looking at the translated lyrics I didn't fully get, kinda just seeming like something to fit the direction but just seemed pointless in my opinion. But as for the production, we do get the standard Latin pop sound that's been heard in mainstream sound, but it's still fun to listen to nonetheless. And we also do get a bit of, hold on, let me get my Spanish dictionary. Flamenco, with the track Delirio de Grandeza, which was a nice little add-in that I enjoyed. But for the more outlandish tracks such as Motomami and Cute, they're pretty interesting as well, but not in like a bro this is gonna scare the host, turn this shit off kind of way, but in a way that kind of makes it stick out and have to be a favorite for others who like the more rough and bass heavy sound from Rosalia. I do have to acknowledge the track Delirio de Grandeza with its sampling Soulja Boy, which is the last thing I would ever expect from a Latin pop album, yet here we are I guess. The features on this album were nice to have, with it only having The Weeknd and Tokisha, with The Weeknd speaking what I would assume was some pretty good Spanish, because even though I don't speak Spanish myself, I would have believed that he was Spanish with how good he sounded on the track La Fama, and Tokisha going in on the back and forth flow on the track La Combi Versace, with Rosalia being the second time I've heard the two on a track together, and honestly makes me want to hear them even more now because of how well they work together. Overall, this is a fun project to listen to, and though it is definitely a different term from what we've heard before, this project still executes pretty well from beginning to end, seeming to try new things in a way that fits her perfectly, only having small holes that can be fixed with whatever she plans on doing in the future. So to put this on a scale, I'm giving this a high 7 out of 10, giving me a new reason to be a fan of Rosalia and has me excited for whatever she puts out in the future. But how do you guys feel about Rosalia's latest album? What would you rate it? Let me know that in the comments while liking and subscribing. Make sure to follow my IG and Twitter. And if you like illustrations used in this video, make sure to follow the artist as well because she's dope. And on that note, I'll see you on Monday for whatever video I decide to upload. Peace.
I'm Mr. White Christmas. I'm high on crack.